Podcast with Jensen Maydew, Tony Caranco, and your host, Wes Underwood.
Yep, and welcome into the Sports Timeout podcast brought to you by Jefferson's Chiefs win. So do you. 50-cent wings after the Chiefs win. And our other sponsor, Roberts Integrative Dentistry in Joplin. Go check out Roberts Integrative Dentistry if you're in need of a brighter, straighter smile. Yep. Get your appointment today at 417-622-0404. I think they were a little bummed last week that I didn't do that. Maybe 2 weeks ago. He kind of looked at me like, oh, he didn't do the teeth thing, but I guess I can keep going with it. Why not? But Wes Underwood along with Clint, and we bring him in. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Glad to be back for my annual meeting. How about you?
Man, it's raining, and that's not okay with me. I want snow at this point.
That's true. It always is a little like, it feels like it's too late for rain. It's like, this isn't rain time. This is either snow or nothing time.
Or ice. Get me out of school. Give me ice.
Yes. Yeah, just cold rain does no one any good.
But yeah, also before we buckle in, make sure to hit that like and subscribe, follow button there. And we got a good one once again for y'all, and we'll get right to it. And we'll get to the Ghetto Tacos NCAA football top 25 talk. This week, we go ahead and skip the top 25 a little bit, but we will stick with NCAA. And, oh man, get all those championship matches out of the way, get them over with, and then we'll talk about the top 25 because those will decide some more positions and who's going to play who. So, but yeah, NCAA football, talk Arkansas football. And man, if you didn't catch the game last week between Arkansas and Missouri, it was a doozy. Fights, ejections, injuries, whole lot more. I wish I had popcorn. I mean, it's probably more entertaining than the basketball game I was at the other night where the guy from the stands came over and the coach got into it with him and the police came in, and it was fun.
Oh, yeah.
Fun.
Yeah. Missouri's on one.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe that got him hyped up. I don't know. Maybe he saw that and was like, well, if they can do it, I can do it too. But hey, no. Yeah. After all that, though, Arkansas needs some help. I mean, who are they going to turn to? Bobby Petrino. Yep. You heard that right. Yep. After his departure in 2012, he took a couple years off after that incident he had with the intern, and then she played volleyball. He hired her. Yeah. Weird scandal. Ended up in a weird manner. And then, so fired. 2 years off. Ended up at Western Kentucky. Heard about that a few years ago. Went 8-4. Got the job done. Did well there. And then went to Louisville. And 77-35 overall there. Got closer to Arkansas and the SEC. But, got the job at Missouri State and went 18-15 there. Coming back to Missouri. And then, you guessed it, back to the SEC. Weird, because it probably wouldn't have happened if this team wasn't there, but Texas A&M, he got to be the offensive coordinator last season and gets hired back at Arkansas this year. And the coach there, Coach Pittman, was quoted saying that he's okay with it and he's ready for this. He thinks it's fitting. And Petrino was also quoted saying he wants to make it right after the messy exit. Do you like it, or... I mean, is it going to be weird, do you think? Or do you think everybody's going to get over it? I would sure hate to be at that first presser.
Yeah. The first, I feel like football seems to work this way, though, where I bet you it'll be like at most a month of weirdness. But it'll probably just kind of find itself out, especially if like they're playing kind of good. I doubt there's going to be like, there'll probably be jokes during it, but I'm sure he'll, get past it. I mean, if Deshaun Watson can kind of slowly but surely get past what he's gone through, I feel like these things can kind of go easily. More so, it was funny. It was funny how desperate they are. Where it was like, that was when was the last time Missouri just demolished Arkansas like that? I mean, that was like, there wasn't 1 second I thought Arkansas was going to win that game.
Yeah, normally they've been really close.
Yeah, even when they're like two different, levels of team, usually it's still a close game. So that was either a good sign that Mizzou's just really good, which I feel like is true.
Yeah.
But also just Arkansas going the other way, where it was like, all right, that's it. So next year they get Bobby.
Yep, they get him in there
Okay.
next season. I mean, he's probably already there now. He's probably still had family there and whatnot after he left.
Oh
I
yeah.
wouldn't doubt
Oh yeah.
that, but
Yeah.
I mean, I find it fitting too. I really do. I do think just let bygones be bygones. I mean, yeah, it's going to be awkward for a minute, but if he starts winning, they'll shut up. But if he doesn't,
Yeah.
it's going to be a heyday.
Oh yeah. And that'll be interesting. But yeah, definitely if they're bad, it's gonna be like, so let me get this straight. You did something terrible, and now you're making our team bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
If it goes the other way, he'll probably be just fine.
But if it goes
Okay.
really well and he's doing well with the offense, but Pittman can't get the defense to cooperate or whoever's there at defensive coordinator and it gets blamed on Pittman, Pittman's out the door. Possibility of
Yeah.
Bobby Petrino being in. Fans that I've seen on Facebook and Twitter have all said, give it 2 years, Petrino will be back in. And it's like, but do you all want him? And I wish I
Yeah.
could bring on some Arkansas fans, but I mean, I was talking to a few at work and they were pretty excited about this because I work in Southwest Missouri, pretty close to the border. Got a lot of people coming in from Arkansas down there and they love the Hogs. And I mean, yeah, I'd be excited too. It's a guy that when he left, did he go out on top?
Yeah.
No, but he did good up until
I
that
had
season.
success there. Yeah.
He did, yeah. So I don't know.
It's kind of funny. We actually are, at least where we live, exactly, Joplin. It's actually Fayetteville's actually closer than Columbia is.
Yeah, yeah,
But because Missouri's in the title, most people still go for Missouri. But so I do
crazy.
feel I do feel kinship with the Arkansas fans, but I haven't heard
Yeah.
any that have. I feel like people like tradition around here enough that are kind of like, it's good to have Bobby back, and it'll feel like Arkansas again. So I'm sure they'll be happy.
I
But
mean,
we'll
I
see.
guess that's like Bob Stoops going back to Oklahoma for a little bit.
Yeah. Um, but anyways, either way, it's good for Missouri because the
Yeah,
drama is always good for.
absolutely.
And then if we're not moving off NCAA, when do we find out about if the Mizzou made a New Year's Six bowl?
They did. They won. So they made
Oh,
they made a New Year's Six bowl. They had to beat Arkansas. So they got
so it's
that one.
official.
It is official, no matter where
We just don't know who
anything
we're
stands.
playing yet.
Now, who we're playing, yes, that's the
Okay.
question.
Okay.
So
Okay.
championship games and all that stuff. I believe, if I saw correctly, they made it into the top. I think they stayed in the top 10, didn't they?
Oh yeah.
Look it
Because
up here real quick.
Ohio State, I think, got bumped.
Yeah. 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 Don't get me started on that one.
And I mean, Mizzou. No wait, this isn't the updated one. This one still has the 9. But I mean, they
Yeah.
easily had the best. We'll see what Alabama does, but they easily had the best chance of beating Georgia.
I think they are going to stay probably around 9, maybe move into
Yeah.
7, depending on who
Still tough.
wins. Because Alabama's going to be ahead of them regardless. Even if they lose,
Yeah.
they're still going to
And
have
Ohio
them ahead
State
of them.
still only has 1 loss, so that's possible, but they definitely won't
Yeah.
go down by any means.
Yeah.
Some people are saying they probably will play the loser of the pack. So either Oregon or Washington, which that would
Yeah.
be pretty fun.
Yeah.
It's pretty
It
cool.
should
Good
be.
times for these. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Good offenses.
Indeed. It'd be a fun matchup. And off that, we'll go ahead and head into the NFL and we'll talk the Jets. A little bit of your forte here. Messy
Yeah.
situation up there. Messy situation. Lots of promise, though, at the beginning of this season. Still kind of right now, too. But the season happens and Wilson is benched. Sala is on the hot seat now after, I mean, you thought at the beginning of the year Super Bowl team, right?
Yeah. I mean, like,
I mean, to be honest,
yeah, a contender. I'll put it that way.
contender. And then Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers gets hurt. And then good news now as he's back on the practice field just 11 weeks after his injury. I mean, he's been cleared for functional football activity, but not full contact. And the Jets have 21 days to decide whether or not to activate him, which would be 4 days before they play the Commanders. And I want to get your all's thoughts here, mainly you now. Because, I mean, I feel like he's crazy for doing it, but his mindset's there, and if doctors are telling him to go for it, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I feel like it's not a good move because it'd be one thing if we were like on the brink of the playoffs. So I mean, we have like, it's almost laughable. I mean,
It
I'm officially
could.
off. I'm officially off the Zach Wilson train. I tried my hardest. I can do it. But
Yeah.
even with that, I still have to defend him in a weird way because like we literally have the worst offensive line. I mean, you almost forget how much offensive line matters. And it's
Yeah.
like, wait a second, every week, like it'd be like if whoever's listening, whatever your favorite team is. In our case, a lot of people probably Chiefs fans. Imagine if it was like Juwan Taylor went out, Trey Smith went out, Creed Humphreys went out, the backup for Creed Humphreys went out.
Hey, the refs
Donovan
would
Smith
love
went
if
out.
Jawan Taylor leaves because they just target
Well,
him
oh
all
yeah,
the time.
exactly,
So
exactly. But that's literally the Jet situation. It's like it's not even like we have some good starters and they're not. It's like literally it's all backups, and it's like
yeah.
you watch a game, and it's just set hut, four guys about to tackle him. So I don't know what Aaron Rodgers, who can't move. I mean, even
Yeah.
if he could literally, if he could physically play,
He was
and
jumping.
I
He
know
was
that was the
jumping
part
in
that
that
was like
video. I'm like, what are you
it
doing?
almost it either was like medical amazement or they were like kind of were hyperbolic about what his injury was. That's kind of the two theories now.
Like you
Yeah,
looked at it snap, but you didn't see any blood like the Kurt Schilling injury.
yeah, it's
Like if
possible.
he got that much and Kurt Schilling didn't have that much pressure.
No, no,
And Aaron
just
Rodgers
like
had a full grown
right.
giant on him.
Yeah, so I'm
And
intrigued to
I
see if
may
he.
be I may be agreeing with Tony now on the it's just a plea. I mean, like, oh look, they're gonna do crappy, and then oh, here comes the savior.
Yeah, well,
I
the,
don't
the
know.
the actual the actual injury surely was real because he. So it is interesting. We actually gained a first round pick from the Packers because if he played 65% of his games, we would have. That part was kind of nice. But I think personally, and it's my team. So I'm not the biggest Rodgers fan. And I do feel like he's kind of a melodrama, like what's the term, a drama queen. And I do feel like there's some element of like he kind of, especially with the Swift Kelsey thing going on, he kind of wants to bring it back to like what about me? I could come back and win a Super Bowl, and
But
like I think he's trying to.
you mentioned that first round pick thing though, but maybe what if that was in the back of his mind, like they didn't get it, they didn't give enough for me. I'm worth more than this. Let's go do this. Hey, I'm gonna look like I hurt myself really bad. Just hyperextending my leg. And I'm gonna sit on the field, gonna wave at everybody to come over, and then I'm gonna go get a big thing of tequila from that dude and act like I'm walking around on no crutches.
Yeah.
It's all
The,
planned
the
out. He's
the
on Pat McAfee. Come on.
yeah, the part he didn't plan though was if that was the case, which I do think there's a part of him that is dramatic like that would think that way. I do
Yeah.
think injury wise though, there's so many medical like people that have to like what's the word? They have like they have things they have to give to the higher ups, and there's all this like all these like there's no way to like fake that. There'd be someone who would know about it that would be like, hey, by the way, Aaron Rodgers is lying about his injury. But
Yeah.
he might himself think I want to be the savior. However, if that was the case, he definitely overestimated the fact that our offense would just be terrible. Just like he was probably assuming, and you could tell because he gets mad when the Jets do badly. I mean,
Absolutely.
rightfully so. But it's like I think he assumed we would be like uh, at least 6-5. Maybe but the fact that we're 4-8, it's just like the Bills are 6-6, and people are already like they're not going to make the playoffs. There's no
Yeah.
way a 4-8 Jets are going to make the playoffs with no offensive line and a quarterback that comes back that can't run with no offensive line. So I feel like if that was the case, he's probably like, crap. There's no way I'm going to like go win 10 games in a row with this
Do,
offense.
do they give Salo one more year? Or do you think he's
Man,
out
that
if
yeah,
they yeah?
this is why I'm so happy to be a Chiefs fan and a Jets fan because it's so nice to be like a nice, strong, developmental, and then you go to the Jets and it's like I also just don't know who to blame. It's like, is this? It can't
Yeah.
be all the coach. It could just be that he's an amazing defensive coordinator, and so he knows how to make our defense because we do have like this consistently an amazing defense.
Yeah.
But maybe that's it. And then he can't. He always seems to make kind of the wrong decisions on the field, and their offense is always terrible. And so it's kind of like if we cut him, I would not be mad. but also, but it's not like, oh, of course it's him. And once we get a new, it's like, who knows? Maybe our offensive line is just so bad. Maybe we didn't get the right receivers in the free. So it's so many things where it's like, I kind of hope we just get a high draft pick at this
True.
point. Get Aaron Rodgers back. Get an offensive lineman. I'm okay with getting a new coach because I think clearly
Sign Geno Namath.
Yes, get Geno Namath, which people that don't know is my nickname back when he wasn't doing good with the Seahawks.
Geno Smith. Yeah, I know. He turned it around, man.
Yeah, now all of a sudden he's like a star for the Seahawks. But back then he had like one good game for the Jets, and I already called him.
Exactly.
So they got a close game with the Cowboys right now. Anyway,
Yeah.
so that's my Jets feel. I feel like most Jets fans just don't know. Again, that's why the Chiefs having the Chiefs is so nice, because it's one thing to be like, our team is good, our coach is good, but our quarterback sucks. Or our quarterback's good, but our coach sucks. But it's weird when it's like, I don't really know what to I don't know what to blame, except for it's just nothing. I feel like you can blame the coach the most, just because
who's the famous firefighter out there? Is it Fireman Ed?
Yeah, Fireman Ed. He's our guy.
Yeah, I blame him on coming out of retirement, because they started getting better, and then he re-got his season tickets and came back.
Yeah, you're right.
Come on, man.
You lost the focus.
I can't watch it from my couch anymore. They're doing so good.
Yeah.
Like,
they brought
again.
that juju.
Yeah.
Which is why I don't want the Chiefs to have any person like that. We're all one fan base.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway.
True. All right. A place that the Chiefs fans do not like. And next up, we talk NFL continuing and Mark Davis and the Raiders. Lots of stuff coming out right now that he's wanting to protect his legacy. And I'm going to stop right there. And I'm thinking to myself, what legacy does Mark have? Because his dad, Al, was the innovator of this team.
Yeah.
He was a decent coach when he coached. 23-10, I believe, was his record as a head coach when he was with the Raiders. Coach of the year when he was with the Raiders. Just didn't like the position, so he left. He then started doing stuff with the NFL and then came back and became the GM and all that jazz. But, yeah. And then from there, you got Madden. He came in with Madden and won a Super Bowl with him because he helped him out and aided him. Then he hired Flores, who won 2 Super Bowls with him and the team. And then Art Shell, good coach, didn't quite get him to the promised land, but he coached that team well. And then Callahan came in, took a really darn good team that John Gruden, who we'll talk about here in a minute, but took a really good team that John Gruden built and then took them all the way to the Super Bowl and ultimately lost to John Gruden. So... yeah. But, I mean, then he hires – we switch over to Mark now, and this is Mark's legacy so far. He hires Hugh Jackson, didn't work out. Dennis Allen, didn't work out. Sperano, didn't work out. Del Rio. Then you get back to Gruden, but then, yeah, that whole debacle happens with the comments he made that got dug up, and now he's got lawsuit going against the NFL. But I mean, you fire him. Okay. Right thing to do. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Then the wild card game happens with their successful interim coach in Rick.
Oh, yeah, Bisaccia.
Bisaccia. There you go. Yeah. I knew I was going to butcher it. And then
it's very, very Italian.
7-5 though. 7-5.
Yeah.
Gets endorsements from Aaron Rodgers and other guys in the NFL. I mean, that takes a lot to get an endorsement out of Aaron Rodgers, to be honest. Yeah. And then, got him to the wild card game. They canned him. Made the worst decision ever at head coach in Josh McDaniels. And then he gets fired. And in that process, they lose the quarterback of their entire franchise for the longest time. And Derek Carr, and they get crappy things for him. And then interim head coach Antonio Pierce, after he gets fired, has the team sitting at 2-1 since taking over. At what point is there a legacy here in Davis? Because now he's looking for another coach. And the coach that's rumored at possibly being hired back is John Gruden. And then, I mean, it's not a legit source, but it's credible enough to me that I've seen over the last few years on Twitter and Facebook that they just do rumblings.
They
And
get desperate enough to, yeah.
yeah, and then impending, it says they're pending the lawsuit and rehiring him. It depends on how the lawsuit goes against the NFL. And John Gruden coming back. Do I hate that call for them? No, because he is the face of that franchise. He really does look like the coach who needs to be with the Raiders. He's the guy that fits in there. He proved that. Al took him out before because I guess they butted heads or something. Mark liked him, and then full circle, everything happened there. Gruden got rehired, and then this happens with the NFL. I really do think John Gruden would still be there right now. And I do think that Mark Davis wants to make it right. But is it the right move in the current situation where you have a team that's 2-1, who also went 7-5, because majority of these guys were still there at this time with Bisaccia there. But I mean, I don't know.
And the one thing about the Mark Davis legacy left out is definitely like all-time terrible drafts. I mean, not one good draft.
Yeah.
Not one draft where it was like, ooh, there were some good choices there. I mean, like they basically just kind of got lucky with Max Crosby. I mean, I don't want to say got lucky, but
Derek Carr was good.
Stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, they've landed on a couple that were like,
but the rest of them, he's pulled out of free agency. Like you're right. He's drafted crud.
There wasn't not one like awesome first round receiver. I mean, even this year, Xavier, what's his name? Or no, Tyree Wilson, who's the second edge taken off the draft. Is just, I mean, our backup Wanye Morris came in and pancaked him. So yeah, I feel like on top of that, where it's not even like, well, at least he drafts well for his. Now he's the owner, so it's not like he's fully drafting, but yeah, there's definitely no legacy. I feel like bringing back Gruden, he does represent the Raiders, but I feel like even more so for me than the Petrino thing. I feel like that would be too much to like in an NFL environment to bring him back when it was like this whole thing of, if he comes back, I feel like it has to do another team.
So, give Bisaccia a chance. Bring him back. Give him a chance.
Exactly.
Or let Pierce just stay the course.
Yeah, I'm interested because they definitely play well for Pierce, and I don't know what that is about it's 2 times now where the backup comes in, and not only are they good, but it's like consistently good. It's like that Raiders team almost beat the Bengals that year.
How do you feel if you're Jimmy Garoppolo right now?
Oh yeah, and then you have that whole thing.
They owe him a lot of money, and that was McDaniel's decision.
Oh yeah.
How did Mark let him talk him into that decision?
And to be honest, they're probably not looking to keep him or not looking to pay him extra for the future. They're probably maybe Aiden O'Connell.
If they cut him, they owe him half of what he's got.
Oh yeah, they'll keep him, but they're not like building their franchise around Garoppolo. So it's an interesting situation. But he's good enough to like win you games, so you're not going to get like the top pick and get Caleb Williams or anything. So it's like it's a tough. It would be the perfect purgatory where I wouldn't want to be. Where it's like,
if I'm them right now, I'd just go ahead and crap out the season, get a top pick, and then trade it away and go to the free agent market and pick out people.
But that's probably true. Maybe trading it. They've won. I think they've won too many games to get like the Caleb Williams, Drake Mays. But
I mean,
they could.
Marvin Harrison Jr.
Right, you could go maybe that high, or trade up a lot to get Drake May or something.
Good,
but I feel like those other teams. I feel like right now, whoever gets the top 2 picks are probably just taking those quarterbacks. I doubt they're fielding any trades.
Yeah.
So the Raiders are probably just stuck in that zone of like, all right, I guess Aiden O'Connell. And
they're in the friend zone of the NFL. Stuck there forever.
It's a bad place to be in the NFL. You got to at least you got to date the girl like Travis Kelce. But no, I think they're in that perfect bad zone of like I feel like their move might be, it probably won't be Marvin Harrison Jr., but maybe get a receiver. Yeah. So for now, you have 2 awesome receivers, and then when Devontae leaves,
Devontae's leaving. I'll bet.
Yeah, eventually he will. I mean, he can't be happy now either. I mean, he came here because of Derek Carr and this awesome offense, and now they're a dud offense with a backup quarterback, so that can't be fun. He's like the best receiver in the league, and he looks like nothing. So yeah, I feel like, and on top of all of that, for Mark Davis, you're not really excited to go to the Raiders. There's really no there's not enough culture around them to be like, ooh, I get to play for the Raiders in Las Vegas. It's like that's like the last team in the AFC West you'd want to play for, let
Yeah.
alone the NFL.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a smart case. But the Chiefs beat
Let's ride.
him.
All right, moving on now. We'll go into the NBA. That was a lot in the NFL there, but I mean, I love it. I love it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
NBA season tournament, in-season tournament, if I may say.
Mm.
New this year. What do you think about it? Fans have some
Yeah.
mixed reviews. I'm iffy, but you seem like you liked it.
Oh yeah, I feel like a lot of people are kind of more. It's just, from the outside looking in, it is kind of confusing. I'm just like, and trust me, even the fans who are diehards like me it took a while to like, oh okay, so there's it's like soccer group play,
Yeah.
right? And it's like this group plays each other one time, except those games themselves are regular season games.
Yeah.
Right. So that was the part that confused me. So it's not like they're stopping with, it's not like the All-Star game where you stop what you're doing and now you're doing this thing. It's like as you're playing your regular season games, all of a sudden there's an in-season tournament game that has an in-season tournament court, which is, you might have seen these now. They have like these really gaudy looking courts to show you that it's an in-season game, which I think is kind of fun. It makes it feel different. So, and in that game, even though it was on the schedule as a regular season, it actually counts towards the tournament. For instance, I follow the Bucks. The Bucks won all 4 of those games, which means that the 1 seed in the tournament, and they play the Knicks. And that game, here's the confusing part. That game is also a regular season game. But it's like whenever a game gets flexed in the NFL. They have this thing now where it's like the Bucks were going to play the Knicks sometime this season, but now they're just going to play them this week and count it as part of the tournament game. And so really the only games that don't count towards the season are next week when they go to Vegas. There's a semifinals where the final 4 teams play each other, and that's just its own that's its own tournament. Doesn't count towards the regular season. But if you win, the only change I'd make is that right now, if you win, every player gets $500,000, which for Damian Lillard and Giannis means nothing. For the 15th guy on the bench who is not sure if he's going to play in the NBA, it's a huge deal. So a lot of the big stars want to win it. For the younger guys, it's like $500,000 is a lot of money. And there is a little bit of, now that it's been happening, there's a little bit of pride of like, I'm sure now that it's like, oh wow, we could win, and I'm sure next year will be called like the Amazon Prime in-season cup or something like that, some lame thing. But it's a real cup. I mean, sure, people make the joke of like, yeah, you have your in-season cup, but we got the real thing at the end of the year. I'm sure that'll exist. But it's a real, like, you get a cup and you win the thing. That's different than like the All-Star game where nobody cares.
Yeah.
So I think for people watching, it's a huge success because, I mean, heck, we're talking about it. And usually this is prime, boring NBA time. It's like no one's like, there's still, like, the playoffs don't start until, like, we're going to the beach, summertime.
Yeah.
So it's hard. It's hard to stay engaged, even as an NBA fan, of like, man, how does this game matter when like we're going to play for another 5 months?
Yeah.
So the fact there's a tournament right in the middle of it, I think was a huge success. I think the only part that's not is it's confusing, and I feel like someone that's a little bit outside of the NBA like you might prefer if the winning the cup got you something significant, like maybe you won and you got an automatic playoff spot or something like that. Something that was like, ooh, we need to win this. Whereas right now it's just kind of like a low amount of money for. Again, if you're LeBron James, you could care less about $500,000. So.
But if you made the playoff, though, what would you do there? Would you be able to donate that to somebody, or would you like cash it in later? Or
no, you can keep it. And you mean like making the playoffs? I mean making the
like if you were to add that in there.
Yeah, some people would say that like because exactly if you're the Bucks or the 2 seed right now, getting a playoff spot would mean nothing. But some people said that like the idea would be you bump up one level from where you are. So if you're not in the playoffs, make the playoffs. If you're the 2 seed, you'd bump up to the 1 seed, whatever it is.
Yeah.
If you're the 1 seed, I don't know, that kind of thing. But it's interesting. That might be hard to navigate, especially for the first year. I think the main thing is they're probably just really excited that like, wow, people actually enjoyed this. It wasn't like All-Star game. Like people do not care about the All-Star game. Even NBA people, it's just like, who cares? It's just James Harden halfway trying and Houston but this actually feels like a tournament. You get an actual like trophy. and it's new, and you get to go to Vegas and play, and more importantly, you're playing with your team.
Yeah.
I think what made the All-Star game tough, and it's probably true for all the sports, is that it's hard to play really hard when it's just like, hey, I'm playing with LeBron and we're doing pickup. Like when it's your team that you've been playing with all year, and it's
Yeah.
like the people you go to battle with, that probably feels stronger than Mahomes throwing it to Stephon Diggs in the Pro Bowl. It's like kind of boring. It's like that doesn't really mean anything.
This is why
So
Kansas
I think
City needs a team. I would love to go to
that's
one of these, to be honest.
yeah, exactly. And the courts are so cool. They make it like a whole. It feels like an event. I think that was the main thing that people weren't expecting. Is that
Yeah.
because it's on. It was every Tuesday and Friday. It'd be a tournament game. So it's like all these tournament games are going on. It's like,
Huh.
ooh, this team's 3-1. This team's 2-1. They beat this team.
AAU
so
for the NBA. That's what it is.
basically, but they might as well have like all the courts in like one of those big rec centers where there's 3 games going on at once with like the net in between.
All right, let's get the band back together.
Yeah.
Steven, Jordan, Ty.
Yeah. Hey, brought to you by Robert's
Blake.
Dentistry. He's on our team. Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right. But yeah, to me, success, it's confusing at first, but it's been really fun. And it's like, it's basically just, it's
I'll
2
pay
games
attention
that
to it a little bit more.
Yeah. And maybe once you see the news that like, the Pacers won the Finals Cup, it might be kind of like, the Pacers, really, of all teams? Okay. But I think that would be kind of fun.
Well, I'd be more surprised by Chicago right now.
Or Chicago, yeah. Well, they're dumpster.
Yeah, big dumpster fire up there, trying to recreate the past Oklahoma Thunder teams.
Oh yeah.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
And
but Thunder are great this year.
We'll see after what happens there.
Yeah.
A lot of controversy going on down there. Last up this week, go ahead and talk hockey. We don't talk much of it, but this was too cool of a story not to pass up. But come out this week as the Philadelphia Flyers sign a 9-year-old with cancer to a 1-day contract, and Owen Mashika, who was diagnosed with a brain tumor since he was 6 months old, and he got to come out, lead the team in the locker room, gave the starting lineups, announced it in the locker room, kind of got him rallied up. He got to go on the ice before the game. Then he helped from the bench and then got a standing ovation, and the coach kind of helped him like, hey, put your hand up, man. You deserve this. Come on, dude. And got to have a really cool moment, and I really think this is a great moment for the NHL, especially after everything that's happened with the injury and all that stuff. I mean, it looked like a perfect night for the little guy, and I wish more sports would do this more often. I know that they do it, but I wish it would happen almost like every game. Like a lot of them do like Make-A-Wish stuff where they go out onto the field for NFL or go to an MLB game, World Series, Super Bowl, stuff like that. But I mean, a lot of these kids would love just to go, or even adults that have this situation would just like to go out and be at the event. I mean, these guys are more than likely fans who watch from home, and probably before their illness or injuries, they came to the events and stuff like that. So I'd really like to see more of them getting involved in the community like that. I know that a lot of organizations try, but it doesn't get thrown out there as much. I feel like they should get that moment of fame and be everywhere, like plastered everywhere. Kind of give them that, like, dude, you're going through a tough time, but look at this cool moment you got. And you got to be on ESPN, like top 10 or something like that.
Yeah.
Just give them their moment. I mean, they're down in life, but they get to have something cool.
That. That's a good point. Yeah, usually it's done like, they meet Kobe like at some rec center gym, and it's kind of like there's a camera there, but it's like I feel like it would be almost easier on the teams or whatever, just to like during halftime we'll have a little thing, and then if something happens that goes viral, that's even more fun. And they're at the actual event that they love, as opposed to just like a bunch of PR people and LeBron James.
Yeah,
like, I'm
absolutely.
actually here. I'm here at this. So that's a good point. You should really make, because most of the time in between these games are boring enough anyways that you might as well make something that's good for someone.
Or have them like come out and do like the, like the play ball boy. Don't give it to just some random kid in the stand.
Yeah,
Give it to
yeah. That's a
someone
good
who's
point.
like struggling, who's earned it.
Yeah,
Because I've been to the MLB games and I've been to a few ballparks, and they're out there like surveying before the game. Like they just go through the stadium and search, and then they're like, "Hey, you want to come out?" Some
yeah.
of them, yes, some of them are planned, but it's like you're looking through the stadium. It's like you know that there's probably a Make-A-Wish or a child like that or an adult who's got a special day there. Yeah, they get to throw out the ball, but have them come out and do it all. Like, say, play ball,
Yeah.
throw the ball, get an autograph from the team, let them sit in the dugout for a little bit and just talk with the players, let them have that cool moment. I mean, stuff like that. I just feel like it'd be better for the
Yeah.
teams and organizations to be able to do that. I just feel like that'd be a really positive light on what they
Especially
do. I
since
mean,
especially since you don't even have to like make the illness that big of a deal.
yeah,
Because I'm sure there's probably a PR conversation where they're like, well, the thing is, we don't want 4 times a game at
it
this
could
fun
be.
game to bring it down by saying, and this kid has cancer, and it's
Well,
okay.
yeah, and you don't even have to
But
put it out there like
but you don't
that.
have to bring it up. Yeah, you could just be like, here is Travis, and he's going to play their smoothie game.
Yeah,
And then it's like, but they know that it was like a big deal that he wanted to get this thing. So that's a good point. Yeah, they don't have to, because yeah, I feel like those moments are, even if it's not the game things, they call people in. Just I do, like you said, the hockey thing. I feel like that's
yeah,
simple enough. Where I doubt it detracts from the game, where it's like everybody has to stop what they're doing. It's
yeah,
probably just a
exactly.
simple thing, but for the kid, it was a huge deal.
Yeah, he got his 5,
I'm
10,
with you.
20 whole game worth of stuff. It's what he wanted. It's where he was
Yeah,
at, and he got to do what he wanted to do, and it was awesome.
spotlight
So,
and yeah.
but on that note, local sports update brought to you by Trackside Burgers, open at 1515 West 10th Street. Go get a $50 gift card this holiday season and get $10 free. You can use it on yourself or a friend or whoever you want. I mean, if you want to help me out, I'll take one. Clint probably would come back to Missouri if you offered him $10 at Trackside.
Absolutely.
Go get some barbecue, burgers, whatever.
Yes.
But didn't get any updates on the MSSU women's basketball page this week. Go check them out. I believe they have a home game this weekend. They got more stuff coming up around the holidays for sure. They had a couple over Thanksgiving. They did pretty good. So the men. And yeah, other than that, we go ahead and head to the 2-minute warning brought to you by Hot Stone Pizzeria. Not feeling like cooking this weekend? Go grab some pizza by the slice over there, Wednesday through Saturday. And only thing I got this week for high school right now is, well, Seneca's going to the state championship. Undefeated season thus far, and they blew out St. Pius X. So good luck to them. We wish them all the best. And my voting, I'm going to say Seneca wins here. Your thoughts?
Who they playing?
That I did not look up.
You're just like, I don't care who they. I don't care who it is. They're
no.
winning. No.
I can look
Is
that
that
up real quick.
3A?
I think they're maybe.
Or is it 4?
I think they're 2 or 3.
Yeah, I didn't know that they were rocking it.
Yeah, undefeated. They beat Lamar this year. They beat Mount Vernon this year. Let's see. Here we go. Maybe if they update it here.
Central Park Hills.
Yeah, there you go.
Or Central in parentheses Park Hills. So yeah, go Seneca.
From KC, right? KC area.
Oh, it might be, yeah.
Eric
Whenever it's
Botts.
like-
You remember Botts?
Yeah, does he?
I think that's his school.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Look, home of the
He's
Rebels.
one of the parks up there. Central
That's
or
cool.
Park Hill or something like that. Man, that makes it harder because if it is his school, I want
Yeah,
him to
if it's
win.
that's a Mount Vernon
Yep.
guy who also went to Missouri Southern.
Yeah, and I've also got another guy that coaches at Seneca, that's from Joplin and played at Missouri Southern, and that's hard. That's hard for us here.
Let's see
Oh,
where this is.
I still
Oh,
want
that's-
Seneca.
No, it's kind of near St. Louis.
Okay,
No, this is a different one. So yeah, now screw them, go Seneca.
Seneca, yeah. Don't like SLU schools anymore. No.
Yeah.
Not after the Joplin run to state and Web Cities and yeah.
Oh
But-
yeah.
All right. Well, on that note, we'll go ahead and on our blunder there. First time for everything. But yeah, y'all have a great and safe weekend. Stay dry out there, and hope you guys enjoy. And see you next time on the Sports Timeout. Clint.
Yeah. Bye.